So we are one day before the start of the new Chinese zodiac sign year, the horse, and I want to just let you know what the energy is going to be like for the rest of the year. There's a lot of things to unpack. Firstly, obviously, we've experienced the year the snake being something that you will have to unveil, shed, purge, going through a series of transformations where the truth is the truth. Now, the difference between what was to what's now is your identity. What are you about to do with it? Because we have entered the 1 year. The 1 year is all about initiatives, leadership. It's also about starting over new chapters. And with the year the horse, it's ultimately with the fire horse. It's ultimately about bolting, bolting through this situation and starting over with the notion of using your energy of creativity, inspiration, determination. All of these things are very, very important for those that want to have a fresh start. The year the horse is about strength and domination, and how you go about this energy really depends on where you want to be. So, in matters of career, in matters of having your own business, in matters of relationships, it's important to really start with the notion that everything needs to have a purpose. Everything has to make sure that you guys ultimately need to really set a precedent with yourself. Really stick to your guns and trusting that whatever you say, it has purpose. So if you have an intention in relations towards sticking to a chapter, go about your way, making sure that this energy is something that you go ahead head on with your life without any hesitation. It's basically imagining being a car with no mirrors and experiencing life. And that every time you go through life in each of these chapters, each day, each week, each month, you are growing. There are no losses, there's no lack, only abundance. And the horse is basically the energy of you dominating. How you dominate is ultimately not stopping, it's constantly being proactive, even if you feel as if you may be going through a period where things are slowing down. Utilize the time to strategize. Really reflect. How can I be better? How can I be better than the day, than yesterday, shall I say? All of these things are so important because the truth and the reality is when it comes to something like the year the horse, yes. The year of the horse is also about making sure that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about conducting things knowing that everything that you do today has correlation towards your long term goals. This is all about you setting that identity. This is what I want to do. I'm going to get there. I'm going to make sure that no matter what happens, if there's a way, I shall plan. If there's doubt, I will provide evidence. If I'm losing faith, then I will make plans on why it still makes sense. From a spiritual point of view, it's also about letting you know that spirit has always got your back no matter what. Even when you don't feel as if things don't make sense, all roads will lead you to a higher home, all roads will lead you to abundance, and all roads will lead you to a lot of happy times ahead. The reason why the snake had to shed is for you guys to really bolt out in terms of your success. Now, we are entering not just we've entered the 1 year, but with the fire horse, that's the 17th, and that's an 8 day. but in numerology, it's an 11 day. So you got to be focusing more about your discipline. Discipline creates freedom. There's no lack. It's also making sure that you're thinking ahead. This is the most important moment in your life, because if you strategize for today, everything such as tomorrow is going to be easy. You got to plan out a lot of things in order to be ahead of everyone else. We're also entering a 1 year. So that means that everybody is trying to compete with you. Understand that people are trying to compete with you. So this could be a situation where if you have a situation regarding courts, or if there's any battles, you've got to outsmart your opponent. If there's any pre-existing things such as you've got a competitor, you're going to have to find better ways of outperforming them in order for you to dominate, because it's very much of a polarity. One wins and the other one has to learn. And that's very much so with the year of the horse. Another thing that I will say, especially with a fire horse, is that try to avoid conflict, try to outsmart your opponent, or try to outsmart people that may have some type of issues around you. Try to stay in the energy of logic rather than emotions. You may be feeling emotional a lot of this year, but it's important to utilize it from a inspirational point of view. That is the most important thing. Trying to get my words across. That is the most important thing for the year of the horse. We are moving into, yes, we are into 1 year, but because it's a full day 11 day and an 8 day, because it's the 17th of February, it's also about domination. It's also about making sure that you outwork, outsmart, and outthink anybody that may have any issues surrounding you. It's going to be a very aggressive year as well. I'm going to be real. That is the truth and the reality. So if you may not feel as if you can win against an aggressor, for example, somebody who has more of a presence around you, work around your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. Outsmart the people around you. You don't need to compete. The throne is always yours. And if your mindset is that there are no competitors, that means you will always win, as if you have your own lane. If you feel as if you are stuck, create your own lane. Put yourself in a position where the only way for you to experience things is by winning. And sometimes you don't have to be with people in the same pool as you. You have to jump off to go to the next ocean or the next river. I'm really speaking from an analogy point of view, right? But it's important for you to understand that it doesn't need to be a situation where you have to compete with someone. You can always outsmart somebody in relations towards things such as your career, your industry. Ones, especially if you have any situation regarding, let's just say, there's a word for this. If you have any situation such as court, it's about logic, provide evidence. I know there's a few people that have issues regarding that for this year, but as long as you make sure that you have your receipts, you can never lose. You can never lose. All right. The next thing is that I was going to say to you guys is for business. I know there's a few people in the chat that want to start. This is a great time to start it, because the 11 number, especially for tomorrow, is about influence. If you want to become something from a influencer standpoint or from an online standpoint, you have to show yourself. You have to show that there's presence about yourself. The more you're able to do this for this year, the more you'll be able to get more reach. And it's important for you to utilize that frequency. So if it's something to do with an online an online business, or in relations towards something such as from a social media standpoint, you should do it this year. Great time to start new. Great time to really create an identity about yourself this year. And most importantly, It's about expression. Express yourself. When it comes to situations such as the horse energy, you have to think about it from a long-term perspective. Really think about what do you want to do for this year. I would highly advise for you guys to make plans. Write down something that from next year, what can you see yourself do as a transformation, and look back on it. Set yourself up with some goals that you would say that are reachable. That's the first thing I would say tomorrow. So have something that's tangible, have something that's materialistic, and have a personal goal for for tomorrow that you'll be able to do for next year. That's something that I would highly recommend you doing as well. All right. So have some realistic targets. That's something I would say. And for the year of the horse, I would highly advise anyone right now to really focus on health, to really focus on their own identity regarding their relations, regarding spirituality. And most importantly, as well, I keep reaffirming this, right? But really think about it from a business point of view, from a standpoint of like, this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm going to be doing, and stick to it. Make it a situation where you're not here for a good time, you're here for a long time. All right. This is an opportunity for you guys to dominate as well. All right. In regards to situations, right, such as the one energy with the horse energy, I highly recommend everybody to find ways to avoid conflict, because it's going to be quite an argumentative year. A lot of people's emotions will boil over because it's technically a 1 year, but in the Chinese zodiac sign, it's an 11 year. So it's a lot of emotions. So you have to apply logic during this time. You have to stay calm. You have to keep your emotions in check during this year. You can channel your emotions, such as turn it into inspiration, motivation, turn it into something that's going to be absolutely creative for yourself. That's something that I would heavily suggest for you to do. All right. How's the chat? How are you guys with me? You guys with me? You good with the information? Let me know. I'm gonna be pulling out the tarot as well. The last thing I will say as well, in regards to the year of the horse, is because it starts on the 17th, it's an 8-day. So you're gonna have to be on your money. You have to be on your grind. You have to focus on what can I do to make myself better or improve from a financial perspective. Is my financial relations good? Are my bills in check? Do I have a poor relationship with money? Do I have uh am I reaching my ambitions? Am I exceeding them? Am I not exceeding them? Really think about it from a perspective of like, if I'm not reaching a certain thing, I need to push myself. If I need to be on the grind about a situation, I need to do this. So it's important for you to really focus that as well, because money is an energy, and we start in a 8-day cycle. All right, or an 8-day, shall I say? All right. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Okay, so Spirit saying a couple of things. You guys with me? All right. So Spirit saying a couple of things. Well, not a couple of things, a few things, many things. This year's about your discernment. So we've got the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands is basically the energy of making sure that you focus on using your discernment with people and the relations that you have. It's important for you to understand that with newness also comes with the idea that you can have new relationships, but that would also mean for you to really focus on, should I have certain people around me? Should I not have certain people around me? It's really focusing on you having to use your intuition in regards towards your relationships, because relationships are going to be a big thing, especially when it comes to the energy of the 1 year as well as an 11-day cycle, or 11 day year. On how do I say that? Basically, yeah. So the Chinese New Year is an 11-day, life path 11-day, right? So it's really focusing on your emotions and making sure that you yourself are not being drained by your energy, and that you are essentially having people that will raise your vibrations. That's it. So it's also about making sure that you are discerning relationships and making sure that you focus on people that will give you energy rather than drain your energy. I'm also seeing that community is going to be a big thing as well with the Four of Wands. I've also seen the secret number 11. The Four of Wands is also about community. So it's reinforcing the energy of making sure that you have a tight knit community and you have people that will only help you, guide you, and amplify what's good about you. And also hold you to account if you do something wrong, not talk behind your back. The Four of Wands as well, for me, is something within this year that's going to be very ceremonial that will happen. And what I'm seeing is it's going to happen after July. July times. That's something that I'm hearing right now, that there's something ceremonial that you'll be involved with that's going to be very, very important for you. I've also got the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups for me is understanding that it's okay for you to be present and still. And sometimes we look upon other people due to the fact that we're not comfortable with our own energy, with our own company. It's really stressing the importance of making sure that you are completely loved of thyself, that you love yourself, and making sure that you have this energy for you to really appreciate stillness as well as being able to reflect during this time. It's important because it's such an emotionally driven year. So it's important for you to ground your energy. So find ways to manage your energy, find ways to make sure that you have ways to sort of regulate. So regulation is going to be a big thing. I'm also seeing that many of you will also travel. There's a lot of opportunities that will be coming ahead for you guys as well, especially with the world card. So people will travel to come see you. You will also travel. There's a lot of opportunities that will be there. Take advantage of the opportunities. I feel like you should open them up. I mean, open the doors. The doors will open for you too, and grab your opportunities. It's definitely a new chapter with the Six of Swords. So really understand that this new moment for this year is about upskilling, upgrading, and updating your life with positivity. This is the most important thing for you. This is how you reach a level of self appreciation, because you are reaching certain targets, which is definitely going to make you feel abundant and happy. And it's always nice when you make something and you create something from your own and you see your own personal achievements. That's something that I will say that's something massive for you. I also see that people need to also figure out ways to upskill, as well as knowing that money is going to be a frequency that you guys need to think about. So that could be the idea of affirming the energy and understanding that money is an energy. You some will be, or a lot more than others are going to be receiving a lot of money because you're attracting it. So this is important. Financial abundance is there as long as you know that it's a flow, and if you continue that flow in your thoughts, it can never be stagnant. You can never lack. It will only grow. I've also got the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is a reminder for you to strategize, to think about what's important. The Seven of Swords as well is also letting you know that you may have people around you that you don't align with, because it's very likely that there are some shady people around. Now, you've got to use your intuition and understand that during this moment in time, especially with the Seven of Swords is also a time for you to strategize and really think about planning. You have to plan. If you're not planning for the future, then the future is quite bleak and you'll be left behind. I think it's important for you to really focus on this while you reflect. I've also got the High Priestess energy, and the High Priestess energy is also letting you know that you are going to be a person of influence, influential. It doesn't necessarily mean an influencer, but it can be from a social media standpoint. But your views, your opinions matter for a lot of people. Your energy matters for a lot of people. There's going to be a presence about yourself that's going to really be important for this year. I think it's important for everyone to understand that during this time, we can do either two things. We can allow emotions to overrun us and we get drowned in the emotions, or we try to find ways to keep center and not react by people that may want to push you off center. The most important thing at this moment in time is to understand that you have the power. The power starts from within, and a lot of people, even though you may not see it, a lot of people are very much wanting what your mind, what your thoughts are. They love your thoughts. They want to know your thoughts. All right? So try to keep yourself in check. Try to keep yourself from a situation where you're not going, anything that's negative is automatically beneath you, and that you're not going to react, and that you are having to showcase your strength, and that the real currency is to protect your own energy for this year, as it's a 1 year. The 1 year cycle, or the 1 year for 2026, and we're now into a Chinese New Year, which is basically an 11 year or an 11 life path, which is going to dictate for the year. Is also about making sure that you are strong enough to not react to anybody that pushes you off center, and that if anybody tries to do that, you have to make sure that you protect yourself. That the Four of Swords is ultimately your own setting of saying, these are my boundaries. I'm not going to break these boundaries. In fact, I'm going to stay very pragmatic and rigid about that. And if you are not either aligning with my energy or amplifying that energy, then me and you do not align with each other, and that's okay. That's okay for someone not to align with you, because the truth and the reality is they're not meant to be for you, and you lead them off the journey. On a positive note, the most important thing that I will say is that you're going through a spiritual rebirth, especially with the Sun card. So if people are wanting to literally start fresh, because the Sun card is a representation for a couple of things. It could be your identity. It could be a new start regarding a decision that you make, a life altering decision such as a business opportunity, you going all in regards to setting a target, an objective. As you will go, you'll grow. The Sun card is no matter what happens, even if it rains, even more when it shines, you are blessed, and that all roads will lead you to a higher home, and that you are divinely protected for this year. The most important thing during this moment in time is to understand that if you are looking to birth something new, it is there. The Magician card is a confirmation for this because we create as we speak. The words that we are, the feelings that we have are all frequencies. And if we are all encompassing all of these things, then we are automatically going to win. As we understand with the universe that there are no losses but only lessons, and that we only align towards the energy of abundance. I want you to repeat after me. There is no lack, but only abundance. There is no lack, but only abundance. There is no lack, but only abundance. These are the affirmations that I want you to say the night or tonight, basically. There is no lack, only abundance. This is what I want you to say tonight. You have the Ace of Cups and you have the Ace of Swords. Just have to double check. And this is basically a couple of things. For this year, with the Ace of Swords, I see many people overcoming a period in their life in ways you will break through a certain resistance. This might be a situation where you have a person that may have done you wrong and you finally have the courage to put your foot down in regarding a situation. This is also an event in where you are about to make a new chapter in your life where you don't look back with no hesitation and you're about to make the best decision of your life. This is letting you know that the next stage in your life is ultimately a consequence of you saying that you are the universe. And these consequences will only bring a lot of positivity in your life. The Ace of Swords is also about you overcoming fear. So if you have any pre-existing fear in the past, understand that you are about to join a new journey of you breaking through any type of resistance. That could be a fear that you've had very recent or something that you had in the past. I see a lot of traumas being removed. I see that you're overcoming. Fear can be in different ways. This could be an illusion. This could be as a representation of somebody that you opposed to, or there may be a situation where you've had experiences in the past, and this could be a person that may have been treated you badly, and you are not scared no more. This is the sign of you understanding that you will overcome any fears. And fears could be any type of representation of it. It could be the failure that you feel that you have, or the fear that somebody mistreated you and you can't say no. But finally you're able to break through this energy. There is a lot going on. And you're able to break through this. This may be another scenario where you may not feel as if you're good enough for a certain role, a certain job, a certain situation, but guess what? You have overcome it. I've also got the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is the reflection of you feeling fulfilled because you have poured the cup. That is an old version of yourself, and you are ready to release any old energies. And that's also, as I said previously, fear. And now you have an empty cup, and what's being filled is completely up to you. It can be abundance, it can be happiness, it can be all of those things. But we are letting go of the past, and you will rule this year. I've also got the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is really focusing more about your self-importance, really focusing on your strengths, and understanding that during this moment in time that you are what you negotiate. And what do I mean by this? Your value is as high as you want it to be. That's the truth and the reality. Your value is as high as you truly want it to be. So if you truly feel that that's your value, that is your value. Times it even more. This is about new identity, but the power is truly about you focusing more on your own currency, which is the most important energy in the universe. I highly, highly, highly want to highlight how important this is. last cards, you've got the Nine of Cups and you've got the Ten of Pentacles. The Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment. This is also about the energy of succeeding. The things that you have manifested and affirmed, you're about to see and you're about to live. You're about to breathe it. You're about to experience everything that's needed for you to say that all roads will take you to a higher home. I've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is about the tree of life, the completion, the success, the notoriety, the abundance, how you perceive your achievements. We can put this into the Ten of Pentacles, shall I say. So understand that this is an important time of knowing that you are going to accomplish your goals. And as I summarize, it's important during this year that you have a purpose, that you create these purposes, and when you create your purpose, you stick with a plan or create a strategy, and most importantly, use logic when things feel a bit uneasy. Apply logic. It's going to be a very emotional year, and I would rather you are the matador than the bull, because emotions can be very, very powerful, but if we're not in control of these emotions, it can hit us hard. Whereas if we are the matador of our emotions and we apply logic, then you'll not only win, but you will dominate in any field that you want it to be. And the reason why it's important is because we are going through a fire horse energy, which itself is very, very fiery. But we're also in a 11-year life path for the Chinese zodiac sign in a 1-year cycle. So from a world perspective, I have to say it, there's going to be wars. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be a lot of violence. But I'm only telling you the road signs before any sort of situation. I'm only giving you the information about this because of numerology and what I feel. But as I said, it's important for you guys to keep your emotions in check and use your logic and go with inspiration. Channel the fiery energy and turn it into something that's going to truly benefit your life. And that's how you dominate this year. If you would like to get a personal forecast on the basis of your life path, right, and a tarot reading, I still offer the service. It's £80. So if you're interested in getting this and you'd like to know how to dominate it from that perspective, all you gotta do is DM me horse, or just drop me a private message and you'd like to just talk about it. All right. But yeah, that was your reading. That was your year the horse reading.